Welcome back to Grow Your Market Center Brokerage with me, Alexis. And today I have a special guest, friend, client, Corinne Sanders. Welcome.
Thanks, Alexis. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Just for those that are listening, give us where are you located in the world? And then I'm going to brag about you with your bio.
Okay, I love it. I am located in Portland, Oregon, specifically like the southwest suburbs near Lake Oswego, if you're familiar with the area.
Love the area. I have a ton of family there, and I'm sure others that are listening do as well. And just to give some insight, you are obviously with Keller Williams, you're a team leader. You've been there for 5 years in this specific role, and
Yes.
you're surrounded in this area by a lot of other Keller Williams.
Yeah, I think we have seven Keller Williams in the Portland area, which we're not a large metropolitan comparatively. So yeah, we have quite a few. And they do vary based on the area, kind of the types of the demographics of your typical agents and clientele. So we're more suburban. We do a lot of luxury. We have about 12 commercial agents. So yeah, we kind of do a lot of the higher end.
I love that. Awesome. And for those that are listening, I'm sure have other competing, either Keller Williams or many other obviously brokerages around them. So this is going to be a great perspective from a great leader today. So for those that are listening, let me tell you a little bit more about Corinne. Corinne Sanders serves as the CEO of Keller Williams Realty Portland Premier, where she is also a partner. Her exceptional business leadership is a testament to the power of visionary leadership and unwavering commitment, earning her recognition and acclaim within the real estate industry. Her expertise and dedication has been instrumental in shaping the company's continued success and growth. Under her strategic guidance, Keller Williams Realty Portland Premier has evolved into a prominent force in the real estate market, consistently delivering exceptional results for their 150 real estate agents and clients. Green's leadership is characterized by her ability to empower and inspire others. She passionately believes in cultivating a culture of collaboration and innovation, creating an environment where individuals can thrive. Her natural talent for fostering strong relationships throughout the industry has further solidified her as a respected and influential leader, which I could definitely attest to. She is committed to volunteering, served on the board of directors of the Women's Council of Realtors for the past 4 years, including serving as a president in 2023. She currently serves on the Oregon Realtors Board of Directors as a PMAR State Director. Corinne, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Alexis. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. In addition to everything that you have done, for those that are listening, I'm just going to take a moment to highlight a few incredibly exceptional things. So for those that are listening to or tuning in today to listen to strategic growth, retention best practices, and ultimately what she has done, your brokerage took over $1 billion in listings taken volume last year.
Yes.
Before.
Right. And with just 150 agents. So
just 150 agents. You guys, I hope you are listening today because we are going to talk high level strategies. You've also attracted, i.e. grown your brokerage over 40 producing agents between 2023 and 2024, which is huge. The average KW brokerage grows their market center brokerage by 4. So in 2 years, that'd be 8. Corinne has brought in over 40 producing agents, and you are in the top 10% out of 1,000 KW offices in holding on to your company dollar, i.e. revenue. So you are not losing much revenue, which is awesome and a testament to you guys' retention, which we will also talk about. So listing taken volume, if you guys are interested in growing your market center and retention strategies, you are on the right call. So Corinne, for those that are listening, tell me about one of those major successes that you've had in this role and what you attribute to that success.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to talk about growing in profitability through growing in producing agents, right? You have to focus your efforts in this position as a team leader on producing agents. And it's not to say that we don't love our new agents. We love new agents that are new to the business. We have great training and coaching to help support those agents, but those agents are going to come in more organically. And it is a slower process, right, to get into production. So when it really comes to looking at the profitability and the use of my time, a couple of years ago, my OP and I decided that I just have to stay focused on capping producing agents. And that also helps. So one, it helps with profitability. And 2, it helps with the culture of the company. People who are winners want to be surrounded by other winners. And if you have all brand new agents, then the people who are the higher producing agents are kind of looking around being like, well, wait a minute, where are my people? Where are the other people that I can learn from, that I can grow from? So what kind of happens is as you get more producing agents, then it really levels up the level of trainings, the culture, the level of conversations that happen in our just weekly business meetings, things like that.
Yeah. And you guys have really focused, I want to highlight on growing through producing agents. And
Mm-hmm.
to take a billion in volume in
Mm-hmm.
listings taken in a given year with 150 agents, you guys, that is a testament right there to what you focus on expands. And you guys are focusing on the producing agents, which is yielding you guys obviously more revenue, more company dollar, etc. When you when you started attracting those people, I'm sure agents, I'm sure some team leaders, brokerage owners, etc. on the call are thinking, okay, well, give me 3 strategies. Give me 3 strategies. What do you do? It sounds like you're very involved, or at least I know you're very involved in your community. Talk a little bit about the 3 things you focus on to attract those top producers to your market center.
Being in front of agents every single day. That's my own agents at our market center, and agents outside of our brokerage. So whether that's through scheduled, let's talk about for recruiting, for example, whether that's through scheduled meetings or just networking within the real estate community, being involved in the advocacy of our industry. As you mentioned before, I have been involved in different boards and enjoy doing those things, right? And also like supporting the different affinity organizations. So like I will go to the ARIA, the Asian Real Estate Agent Association events and things like that. So really just branching out within the community and networking and going to industry events and talking to agents, right? Like if you're hiding in your office all day as a team leader, you're never going to be successful. So, and then the more you talk to your own agents, the more they have other agents to refer to you, or they might mention that they were in a transaction with another really good agent, or they'll tell you what's going on. They'll tell you what they're struggling with, what topics they need to get. So really just honestly talking with agents. But as far as growth and recruiting, I really like to do it in more of an attraction way versus like make a million cold calls and be really recruiting. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That just doesn't really feel as genuine to me. So I like to build real relationships with people. Some of the producing agents that are coming over, I've been talking with for 2 years, right? So it's not always a short game, right? You're in it for the long haul. But I think that when you're truly in it to help people and help agents with their business, that will come through. So, I know that was a lot of different things, but, consistently focusing on growth as far as being in front of your agents and outside agents every single day, right? And talking with them, asking them questions about their business and what they're going through, networking. I probably go to honestly 3 networking or industry events a week, every week.
Yeah.
So, it's very intentional, right? That is how I do my lead generation. I'm choosing to do that rather than sit at my desk and make 40 cold calls. Now, I've been in this position for 5 years. My second year and first year, all I did was make calls, right? So it's not that making calls is bad. I've just kind of evolved into a more strategic type of recruiting and attracting than I had before.
I love that you just mentioned that, because I too, around year 4, noticed the biggest shift. And for those newer team leaders that feel like they've either hit a wall or you've been in the role for a year and a half, you are right on the cusp of greatness. Keep chipping away, because the diamond is behind that cave. It truly, truly is. There is a huge testament to when you are in this role in any brokerage and you are looking to attract and build relationships. The 2-year mark is so critical, where things become easier. People remember you. You have now built those genuine relationships. You've talked to a lot of and consulted a lot of agents already in your market. Therefore, that's when we start to see the cycle of them coming back around. So I think it's so important to highlight what you just said. As a reminder, those listening and that are new, oh my gosh, Corinne told me on Alexis's podcast on how to grow your market center that I don't need to lead generate. No, please don't. trouble. You do need to lead generate. I did, she did, and everybody does for the first year to 2 years. And that is how you start to intentionally build those relationships. So then you get to just start to build that trust.
Right. And I still lead gen, but I just do it in a different way. And it's funny, I was just giving another newer team leader some advice the other day, and I was like, it's going to be really hard for your first 2 years. And I don't say that in a discouraging way. Like, I say that in a don't give up, like, work really hard so that it will get easier. Just like we tell our real estate agents, right? When you're brand new, you're going to have to grind a little bit more than you are when you're in it for a long time. And I think if you just really approach this job, I love what I do. And if you approach it with the sense that, like, it's a long game, you are really building genuine relationships. You are building real value within your market center. I guess that's number one, right? Like, are you worth it? Like, do you have enough value within your market center? Are your agents that are there happy? Do you have amazing classes, and are your agents engaged, right? So you have to have that first. Then you have to start attracting people, but just knowing that it is the long game. And I hope that doesn't come across as discouraging for newer team leaders. I truly say that in an amazing way. And I just heard on a team leader mastermind that, oh yeah, around the 5-year mark, you get a second wind. And I'm like, I'm totally feeling that, right? You do, because you're like, okay, you're doing things differently, more strategically, more higher level. I'm really empowering my leadership team now to do more of the recruiting and more of everything, right? Like, we have to have a leadership team around us that we trust, and we empower them to grow, because nobody wants to feel like they're stagnant, right? Like, so just growing as a brokerage, but growing our leadership team, growing our existing agents to produce more, right? Like, take it from, like, people are selling enough real estate to kind of get by to, like, okay, I'm making enough money to change my life, right? Are you helping your agents get to that too? So just really, like, helping grow those around me is really where my passion and my heart is now.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting. I jotted it down today because I thought I was on a coaching call earlier, coaching a team leader in a different state. And they said, can you simplify leverage? Can you simplify delegation? And I think something you just said, I jotted down in my own coaching efforts today, which is yes. For those that are listening, Corinne has started to, in her journey of leadership, started to really embrace delegation and leverage. And it's a wonderful and beautiful thing, and she will attest to it now, right? So for those that are thinking, well, how do you do that? I feel like I do it the best. I don't have the people in place to do it. Where do you start? Here's 3 simple steps to leverage, i.e. delegate in your world. Number 1, choose the who or the what. Period. If you don't have the who because you're on a shoestring budget, that's fine. Choose the what, the system, the technology, what is going to do. So you choose them or it, you set the expectations with clarity, and you meet weekly for accountability. And that is simplifying delegation in 3 easy steps. And if your team isn't attracting to your brokerage and you're a one-man show, I bet you're feeling a little burnt out.
Totally. Like, that is so dead on. Like, you can try to do it all yourself, and then you will get burnt out. And I think that is unfortunately what happens with a lot of team leaders, because a lot of it does fall on us, right? Especially with the recruiting. But I couldn't recruit and attract people and support our top agents at a high level if I didn't know that our agent services coordinator was going to make sure to have a rock solid onboarding experience when they do join. And then he's the go-to for all of their technical questions, right? I couldn't be doing this if I was answering people's commissions questions. I have an amazing MCA that, like, I don't have to be involved, right? I joke, I, like, don't even want to look at someone. I mean, I say that jokingly. Obviously, we all are involved in the financials, especially as an owner of our market center. But on the day-to-day, like, she's got it down, right? And you can't do your job at a high level without trusting everyone else to do theirs, so that it really is, like, out of your mind. So making sure you have the right people, and also that you're training them. If they don't know how to do things, or if they're not sure where those boundaries are that you were kind of talking about and what their guidelines are, or what they are empowered to do or what they're not empowered to do, they're not going to be able to be successful.
Yeah. And we've coached through this quite a bit. You always hear me say it. I'm going to share it with everybody. Slow down to speed up.
Some of us, that is a challenge, right? Because we don't want to do that, right? It's not in us if we're like a go, go, go person. And I've really learned to do that, especially because you're always going to have like changes in your leadership team, right? Like people will grow and get promoted and go on to bigger things, and that's amazing, right? So even if you are a perfect leader, you will always have new like team members that you're gonna have to train, and it can feel so crippling in the moment because you're like, wait a minute, I want to be going fast, but just really taking that time to slow down, reevaluate these systems, the training. What am I doing to help those people in their roles, right? Because that can the output of that can be exponential, right? If you spend the time pouring into your leadership team, and then they can help you clear up time, energy, mental space, that's where you can really, really get to the next level.
Yeah, and you recently lost a long-term assistant, right?
Yes, my executive assistant was with me for 3 years, and she knew everything.
And so to be in a vulnerable place where so many others can relate to that exact moment where we were on our coaching call and you were like, oh my gosh, I am going to be starting over with somebody new. Yeah, reframed in that moment your thought process on that, right? We took our time to reframe, and then you did a few things to make the next hire easy. So by slowing down to speed up, share with everybody listening, what are 2 or 3 things that now when you do have turnover, which is inevitable, everybody listening, right? Or we're not doing our job if we're not helping coach them up to grow. What are 2 to 3 things that you can share?
First off is making sure that there is not just there's some written recording in the form of preferably an SOP of what everyone's job is and what they do on the day to day. Some of the most like basic things, right? I mean, where do we go for things? How do you log into things? What is turnaround times on different things? But it's funny how many simple things that if only one person knows how to do it, they leave and nobody knows what to do, right? So really having every position, and I've had every position now on our leadership team take the time to kind of make their own SOP, and so that we will never be lost like that again, right? There'll always be some sort of guidance, right? The other thing is to have the leadership team, everyone be able to shadow and cover each other on certain fundamental parts of our growth, right? So like, let's say, for example, onboarding an agent to our market center and going through the paperwork and doing all that, right? Everyone on our leadership team should be able to pick up like the information and do that, or at least 2 or 3 people should be able to. It shouldn't just fall on one person. Or like, honestly, even like a recruiting appointment, if a new agent walks through the door and I'm in a meeting and like somebody else on the leadership team's in a meeting, right? Like, can we go 3 levels deep of being able to just pick up some of the info and talk to that person that walked in the door about the value of joining our brokerage, right? So those are just a couple of the examples of the types of items, but really being able to cross train to help support each other. And when people go on vacations or are sick, or there's a million other things, right? So cross training for sure, and helping support each other. Creating the SOPs, I would say, is the number one thing. And the third one is going to be a mindset shift of knowing that if you are a good leader, you're gonna always continue to lose people because they're outgrowing, right? Or they want to do something that really fulfills some of their bigger goals. So almost going in with the mindset of like, okay, obviously this person is not going to be my executive assistant forever, right? So almost helping. So some of that is just like mindset, right? Like setting that up so that I'm not disappointed every time. And it is more empowering of like, great, we're helping our birds fly.
Yeah, I love that. So I want to highlight what you just said because you guys, if you could take away anything from this, because if you haven't already experienced a loss of a leadership team member to coaching them out of the role, then one, you may not be doing your job, or two, you might just be so new to this, right? Number one, SOPs. For those that are listening and are like tapping their neighbor, right? What's an SOP? Standard operating procedure. Guys, this is like a step up from a job description. This is not what you're posting on Indeed or LinkedIn. This is the bullet points of what the job description is on LinkedIn and Indeed are then each line item is an SOP, a standard operating procedure on, like Corinne suggested, on how anybody in the world could come in and look at an SOP and do the role, is essentially what standard operating procedures are for each role. She had everybody on her leadership team do their SOPs for that role. Brilliant. Number two, changing the mindset, right? Giving them the opportunity to say, I am expecting to coach and grow people out of these roles eventually. So you are happy for them, not feeling like it's a huge burden or loss. And number three, you said cross training. If you guys don't have fundamental cross training, so fundamental cross training essentially is make sure everybody is trained on the fundamentals of each other's roles so that, like she suggested, people can be sick, they can go on vacation, and your brokerage can still take $1 billion in volume in listings. All right. Very good.
Yes.
Corinne, you've shared so much with us today. Just a few things left because I'm sure it's always been rainbows and butterflies, right? Is what I always.
Yes, yes.
It's always been so wonderful. Share with what is essentially the biggest challenge you've overcome in the last 5 years running and growing a brokerage of this, capacity and magnitude that you'd like to share, and how have you overcome it?
Well, I'll share this because I think that a lot of team leaders coming in have maybe had similar things. So when I came in as our team leader CEO 5 years ago, there had been a lot of instability. There had been a lot of turnover in that position and other leadership positions and support staff. And because of that, we had lost like quite a few agents that previous year, which then, is very disruptive. And the people that are still there are kind of looking around. So, the first thing I had to do was rebuild our house, right? And regain the trust of our agents. If you don't have the trust of your own agents, you will never, grow in profitability in business, but also grow with outside agents, right? If the agents that are there aren't even fully bought in, right? So, I did that by consistently working hard, showing up for our agents and like doing what I said I was going to do and really building genuine connections with them and truly helping them in their business. Like, I say there's all kinds of fun things I love to do, right? We of the more cultural components of the market center, right? Like happy hours or like annual celebratory events, like the holiday party and picnic and things like that. And, having snacks in the kitchen. But all of those are just the sprinkles on top of the cupcake, right? Like you have to help your agents grow their business. Or, have more leverage, whatever that growth means to them. If it means growth in time, growth in money, growth in whatever that means. But if you're not helping them truly with their business before all else, like you don't have enough value, right? Because all those other things are fun. That's why I joke, I call them the sprinkles, right? They're great, but you have to have that meat first. So anyways, truly talking with our agents about how can I help you in your business, right? I have one-on-ones once a month with all of my top agents where I stop and just like we talk about their business. And it's funny, like some of our agents I've become close with and friends with, and those agents, it's almost more important to do that consistently because that's where they know we're talking business that day, right? Like we're not talking anything else. We're talking about your business, how I can help you grow. So, I guess, as the challenge is like taking that time to really rebuild, regrow, build those relationships with your agents, which sometimes take time, and then also not giving up, right? Even with like the recruiting, It totally does take time. And I mean, I'm grateful to be 5 years in, right? Like I joke, it does get easier, but I love what I do and I love our agents. And I think that comes from like truly caring about them and their business, but it's not an easy job. And especially when you're like in that rebuilding phase, which I know a lot of market centers are, especially if there's been turnover, you have to get all new buy-in, right? So recruit your own agents first, right? Make sure that they're bought in. And then also making sure too, another like little bit of advice on that is making sure that you have all kinds of amazing things of value at your market center happening. So if your training calendar, like this is our training calendar for January, right? We make it pretty. We make it very high level, lots of value. It's the mindset of teaching to the higher level agents. And then the newer agents will kind of pick up. But if you don't want to dumb down all your trainings and classes to like cater to the new agents, because then the experienced agents won't come, and then you don't have as good of conversation, you don't have the collaboration. So just trying to teach more higher level things. We do a lot focused on the economy overall, being really savvy about what's going on with the real estate market and just the overall national and worldwide economy. We do a lot with wealth building and personal investing and long-term wealth building, both for our agents' well-being and then also when they're talking with investor clients. So we try to go above and beyond just a lot of your basics, like how to do an open house, how to have good listings, and do all of those things. So but I think having really good events and a really good calendar of classes and trainings that you can invite other agents to, and get your own agents to too, right? If your own agents aren't engaged, like that tells you you're maybe not delivering the right content.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I absolutely love that. I hope whoever is listening right now is still with us and taking a lot of notes, because there has been a ton of value today. Round us out, Corinne. What is a piece of advice that you would give a team leader or OP right now who maybe, like you said, is rebuilding, is struggling? What would be your one piece of advice?
Mm. Don't give up and show up, right? Like if your agents don't see you, if your leadership team doesn't see you, like you have to be, I hate to say it, like, right, we're in this whole new world where everyone likes to work from home. You got to be in your market center, right? Like if you're not there and everyone can't see you working, right, you're setting an example for your leadership team. You're sending your agents a message like, I'm here for you, right? I'm going to work just as hard as you're working, right, to help support you. So really just, I would say, show up and work hard and don't give up, and build real, genuine relationships.
I love that. Corinne, thank you so much.
Thank you, Alexis. I hope I didn't talk too much.
It was so fantastic. There were so many incredible golden nuggets that will be highlighted on the podcast for those that want to jump around and go back, take notes, re-listen. If people want to find you, whether it's on social media, where can they find more of you?
Oh, yes. Find me on social media. My Instagram is at Corinne Keller Williams. It's Corinne, Corinne Keller Williams. So that's the best place to find me. And then I can find me other places from there. But yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you again. And as always, thank you for helping share, how you grow your market center. And I will see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Alexis. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.